What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. We're continuing this week with rankings. We're talking running backs today because we got to be in the know, man. Fantasy draft season is right around the corner next couple weeks, and you got to get ready. We'll start off because it's a top 40. We're going to do this a little rapid fire so it doesn't prolong too long. But number one, CMC. Enough said, baby. 100% on the boom rate. He has not moved as my top running back so far this offseason, and he will definitely remain as the 49ers, lead back, number one overall weapon in this offense. CMC is easy money at number one. Number two, Breece Hall and Bijan. 1, 2, 3 have not moved for me. Breece Hall with these New York Jets, 52.9%. I mean, he's going to absolutely see a massive uptick this season, barring any health issues I don't foresee. But with an Aaron Rodgers, this run game should absolutely be utilized, using Breece Hall in that pass game as well. They do got Braylon Allen, who is looking good. Wink, wink. I told y'all about Braylon Allen. But I'm telling you, Breece Hall, it's still his backfield. He may lose a few goal line touches because of a guy like Braylon Allen. That does concern me for the top-end TD upside on the ground for a Breece Hall. But other than that, he should absolutely be in the range of 1,300 rush yards, anywhere from 450 to 600 in the receiving game, and everything else is getting sprinkled over to a Garrett Wilson. So Breece Hall, abso-freaking-lutely at my number two. Bijan Robinson. They're trying to, foil the early mantra that he's going to be utilized like a CMC in this Atlanta Falcons offense, but I do believe it's going to happen. I think they're trying to cool down everybody knowing what's going to be and saying Tyler Algier is going to have a bigger role in this offense. It's Bijan time, man. Give this guy the football. You guys put the shackles on this man last year. He had 217 points, 70% on the boom rate. He didn't even crack 1,000 yards. That's freaking shameful, Atlanta. Give him the football. Breece Hall absolutely going to be that dog this season without question. Number 4, JT. Jonathan Taylor in this offense. And while I, downgraded an Anthony Richardson, I'm promotive of a Jonathan Taylor. Had an off season last year with a lot of health, ankle, soft tissue, concussions, shoulder. He had a lot of nicks and dents last year. I think he absolutely comes back with a vengeance this year. You go all the way back to his collegiate career at Wisconsin. He basically didn't miss any time, and he was an absolute workhorse in college, over 900 carries there as well, and the Colts have been utilizing him as such in the pros, so his body was eventually going to break down. I think he has a resurgence this year. 80% on that boom rate last year, rivaling the top dogs at running back for the boom consistency rates. JT, absolutely number 4 is easy money as well. Number 5, King Henry. I'm lifting him way up my board. This mofo could have like 15 TDs this year, if not more, in this Baltimore Ravens offense who love to run the football. 500 touches, 550 touches from the running backs or from the rush attack is not out of the question for this Ravens team. Even over the last 4 years without a quality running back like a Derrick Henry. Henry's still coming off nearly, 1,200 yards, 12 TDs. We could absolutely see 1,200 yards, 15 to 18 TDs on the ground for a Derrick Henry. I would not be shocked whatsoever. He is absolutely undervalued. Do not get faded. The fact he just turned age 30, I mean, I get it. That's where running backs fall off a cliff. He's built different like an Adrian Peterson. He might play till he's 35 and still give you very good point productivity. Number 6, Saquon. You guys know Saquon's my dude. Now he's with these Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to run this football. They're going to do that. Jalen Hurts is going to run the football. Saquon's going to have this resurgence of, happiness and joy, change of scenery. He is so, you can tell, man, in his interviews, it's like a breath of fresh air for this man. He is going to absolutely dominate in this backfield, and I'm all for it, man. Running back 6 right now, still 26 years of age. I absolutely expect this boom rate to go into the 75 range. I absolutely expect him to be total yards in the 1,600 range for Saquon. They're going to utilize him in both the run and the pass, and he should have a very big first season with these Philadelphia Eagles. Number 7, Travis Etienne, my dude. Mr. Speed, okay, he was kind of up and down last year when it came to the consistency. He had really big games, and then he had a couple stinkers, man. 64% on that boom. It definitely does, give you a little bit of pause and pullback. But like I mentioned, I do believe in this Jaguars team this year. I think that they will see that, uplifting performance and how they're going to play Trevor Lawrence. Getting his bag, I think, is going to be a good news situation for this team, where now he doesn't have to worry about the money. He can play football and be the guy we all think he's going to be. Travis Etienne, the home run threat, man. Any time opportunity on the field, he's taking it to the house, making house calls. I'm absolutely all in for Travis Etienne at number 7 to have a much better campaign than he did this past year. Number 8, Kyren Williams. And while I'm saying it right now, I could absolutely put Kyren Williams above a Saquon. I absolutely could, and I know the argument is there, but at this point, injuries have always been a problem for Kyren. Even going back to Notre Dame, he had injury issues. They bring in a guy like Blake Corum as well, so they're very similar like skill sets, and we're going to see that on the field. Eventually, that we're going to see Sean McVay do a little bit of a mix and match, I want to believe, maybe a little bit more split touches to save somebody like a Kyren because he was so good on the field. 83% on that boom rate, 239 points, y'all, and he missed time. He only played in 12 contests, and he would have been challenging for the running back 1 with a CMC had he played the full 17. However, he does not necessarily play every single game. The body definitely does break down with overusage, hence why I'm saying a Blake Corum will see some touches increase as the year does move forward. Kyren Williams may see his touches decrease, hence why I got him here at number 8, but I'm still a huge fan of Kyren Williams. Number 9, Jahmyr Gibbs. He fell down my board, y'all, and there's a reason because of that hamstring injury. I do not like soft tissue injuries in preseason. They tend to linger on, especially if they don't take the time off and heal and rest properly. We could see a lot of David Montgomery early in the season. This is a big problem for Gibby as we go into 2024. I'm a huge fan of his as well. He is an absolute game changer, game breaker, and he is explosive. But he needs his hamstrings to be fully healthy to be doing this on the field. That's why I got him sitting here at number 9. He can absolutely finish as a top 6 running back, barring any health issues. But at this point right now, I'm playing it safe. Number 9 is a safe bet for me for a Gibby. Number 10, Josh Jacobs, Green Bay Packers now. No more Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, and he deals with his share of injuries as well, but he's a very good quality running back, much more consistent than you want to say than an Aaron Jones. He can definitely do it in both the run and the pass. Aaron Jones, obviously the better pass-catching back, now taking his talents to Minnesota. Jacobs is going to be one of these guys where it's all about game flow. You want to control some clock. You want to do the play action. You want to remove some pressure off a Jordan Love. Give it to Josh Jacobs. He can pound the football, and I think he will have a very big season coming up this year. Dealt with some issues last year, 13 games played only, didn't crack that 900-yard mark, 805 and 6 TDs. I fully expect over 1,000 yards for Jacobs, once again, 10 TDs, to be the MO for this man in Green Bay with his new digs, man. Number 11, Alvin Kamara, rising up my board, and I am not going to be an apologist for this whatsoever. You guys want to wait? He's overall 51 on consensus ADP. It's crazy talk. Who else is there to run the football? Y'all believe in Kendre Miller that much? All the power to you, man. I am taking Alvin Kamara at that value all day long. You know this guy's going to be absolutely stellar. Over 220 points. Again, everything is barring health, but over 220 points should be an afterthought in this situation, if not more. Him and Chris Olave are going to be the 1-2 punch in this offense once again, as Kamara was when he came back from his suspension last season, was absolutely booming on the regular until the end of the season where it did fall off just a little bit. He was, 76.9 on the boom rate, and y'all want to fade that all the way down to running back 17? All the power to you. I am not doing it. Alvin is going to be having a big season once again this year, man. Devin off the A-chain, HN, number 12, back up my board because, it's about explosive plays. Thought about this for a little while. Man, I had 8, man, a lot of y'all didn't even have H-Chan on your board. He was my number 5th ranked running back coming out of that rookie class. So get out of the way when you guys cuss me down for dropping him because of injury concerns, man. But I got him back to number 12. And it's fair to me. I can't put him up any higher. I do believe that he will see nicks and dents as well. His body is smaller, and the punishment that he does take will hamper him. He will see soft tissue injuries because he runs so damn fast. But again, number 12, because of the explosive playability, the fact that he was able to get 800 yards and 8 TDs in limited action, only 11 games, unbelievable. We saw a stat he rivaled Reggie Bush with 11 40-plus yard gains in his first 11 games or whatever it was. Unbelievable stuff, man. Check me on that stat. I'm probably butchered it, but he... Absolutely, HN is one of these guys you got to have on your team, but you definitely got to hedge bet. Have a backup plan just in case he does go down, a.k.a. Raheem Mostert. So if you're doing HN, I don't hate you drafting a Raheem Mostert to hedge your bet on that one as well. But number 12, absolutely fair for an off the A-chain. Number 13, Joe Mixon. And I do foresee another very good season for Joe Mixon here with these Houston Texans. Like I said, I'm all in on this Texan team. CJ Stroud, my dude. I think they're going to absolutely kill it offensively with Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Joe Mixon's going to be roaming free. He's like, hey, man, there's no stack boxes. I can run free for touchdowns. I think he's going to have a very good season. Very limited, punishment coming his way. How can you stack the box with all the weapons you have in Houston? Joe Mixon is one of these guys this year that's going to surprise a lot of people and say he was ranked too low, and I even think I got him ranked just a little too low, but number 13 is where I got him today. Number 14, James Cook, Buffalo Bills. He's one of these dudes. He's been going up 5 spots, down 3, up 2, down 6 for me all off season long, and I think I've settled with him at number 14. Over 1,100 yards, we got to see the TD value increase before we can promote that much higher. I want to see his role be something like an Alvin Kamara. Utilize him a lot in that pass game. Get his hands right. Yes, I understand he dropped some passes last year. Dropped a couple bad ones in the red zone. Definitely cost his total points. He's got good hands, man. He just looked the other direction, tried to turn upfield before he corralled the football in. I'm a big supporter of James Cook, not just because he's a Buffalo Bills fan, because I was with him back at UGA. So, I mean, for me, he's 24 years old, got his first, taste of being a lead back last year. I think he absolutely builds on what he did last year. Number 14, great value for a James Cook. Number 15, only because I have to put him here because I like the value of the other guys. Rachaad White at number 15, still had a very good campaign. Uplifted all of his stats based on the PPR upside. What is Bucky Irving going to do in this offense? Will he remove some of that PPR upside that Rachaad White has? Possibly. Sean Tucker's been running extremely well in preseason. Will they entertain a 3-headed monster at some point? It is very possible. Only reason why I'm dropping him down because I'm a little bit fearful of the potential overvalue workload for Rachaad White this year. Could other guys be taking the football in that PPR game on checkdowns and scripted plays for him? It is very, very possible because I'm not overly keen on his running ability from the backfield, but when he gets outside, when he's in the open field, that's when we see the good Rachaad White work. For me, 15 is absolutely where I got him because I covet other guys ahead of him at this point right now. Number 16, Kenneth Walker III. Seattle Seahawks, he didn't crack that 1,000 last year, but he did the year prior. Yes, we're hearing, rumors about, more split touches with a Zach Charbonnet. I'm still in. Kenneth Walker is one of these guys. He's just a full-blown workhorse running back. Saw it all the way back at Michigan State, and we saw it last year with the Seattle Seahawks and his rookie season. He is one of these dudes you like and you need to have on your team, especially as your running back, too. He will produce for you, but there will be potential injury history and injury concerns. That's why I got him here at number 16. Playing it a little safe where the upside ceiling could be in the top 12 without question. Number 17, D'Andre Swift. He is rising up my board as well, not only because of the preseason contest where he did look good. Everybody's undervaluing this because of guys like Roschon Johnson and a Khalil Herbert. I'm a Khalil Herbert fan, always have been. I'm a Roschon Johnson fan, always have been. D'Andre Swift is just different, man. You get this man the football in open space, and he's going to make you pay. He's shown it everywhere he's been. Detroit, back in Philly. Now he's here with these Chicago Bears. I'm telling y'all, I'm in, man, especially where everybody's downing him down the boards. You could get him as your flex RB3, for God's sakes, and you could be absolutely smiling from ear to ear with D'Andre Swift. I'm in it with him on Chicago Bear style. D'Andre Swift at number 17 looks good to me. Number 18, David Montgomery. He's one of these enigmas where he's going to get the volume. 85% on that boom rate, absolutely massive. It's because he scores you touchdowns. Yes, he did over that 1,000-yard rushing last year. 13 touchdowns in this split backfield with a Gibby. Now Gibby's injured. You got to know they're going to force feed a David Montgomery as well. He is one of the safest running backs you can pick in your drafts this year, without question. David Montgomery at 18. I want to lift him higher, but the upside isn't there like it is for others, but absolutely TD upside is here. David Montgomery, absolutely safest running back in the fantasy football drafts where you could get him for the value without question. Number 19, Isaiah Pacheco. Yes, he is down my board. More so than a lot of y'all have him. Good for y'all. If you guys want him higher, I do not hate it and I will not argue it. Absolutely take your players where you want them. For me, Isaiah Pacheco, 57% boom rate. Yes, they added a lot of speed. Yes, they should see limited stack boxes with a guy like Xavier Worthy running down the field, pulling everybody back. I just don't see it, man. He runs so damn hard, played in 14 games last year. He's going to miss time. Let's be real. Concussions, nicks and dents because of all the punishment he's taking. He's a good running back. I like Pacheco. I just don't like the overall, ability of him being a running back 10. I think that's crazy talk. I would rather have somebody else ahead of that. That's why I got Isaiah down here at number 19. Number 20, Aaron Jones. Okay, a little bit more bullish than some. I am starting to pull back a little bit, but somebody's got to do the business here in Minnesota. Yes, Sam Darnold is now the quarterback. J.J. McCarthy was looking good. You got Addison dealing with some off-field issues. There's got to be somebody taking some of the pressure off, and it's going to be in the form of screen passes and checkdowns. Got to say, a lot of PPR upside for Aaron Jones to save his days. I think at 20, it's fair. Flex option, running back 3-4, don't hate it, but there is upside because he did play so well at the end of the season. He said he was the healthiest he had ever been, and he proved it. I believe it was 5 straight games of 100 total yards. It was unreal what he was able to do last year as it was tapering off. I think he will do very well in Minnesota. Number 21, James Conner. Mr. Band-Aid himself, but when he's on the field and healthy, he's an absolute battering ram. They even got a guy like Trey Benson try to save some touches, do a 1-2 punch, split backfield, and James Conner's absolutely going to eat when he comes to that. 1,000 yards last year, 7 TDs. It's great for the value. Once again, running back 2, running back 3. More in the running back 3 for me for a James Conner, but he's absolutely reliable. Will be able to give you the points when he is on the field. These Arizona Cardinals should be able to at least move the football down the field with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray that much more. James and a Trey Benson should be very good in this backfield to at least give you that good quality fantasy points, and he does find his way into the end zone quite a bit, so you got to like a James Conner. Number 22, a Raheem Mostert. Are we fading this man way too much every season? Okay, 31 years of age. Completely understand. 255 points, running back 2 last season. I don't foresee it happening once again. Let's be real. He's 31. He's always dealt with some level of injury. Taking all that volume he had last year, 18 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Unbelievable last year, over 1,000. But again, you got Achane, you got Mostert, you got Wilson, you got Salvon Ahmad. They got running backs here that they rotate frequently, but the 1-2 punch is going to be Mostert, going to be Achane, and I do believe that Raheem will have his touches once again this year. So at running back 22, he's absolutely going to eat on that value once again. Number 23, Ramondre Stevenson. You guys know Dre is my dude, but I just can't do it this year with this New England Patriots team that looks to be retooling, rebuilding. Drake May looked good, and you're going to see growing pains. They're going to stack the box. They're not going to fear the pass. They're going to have to prove it with these young wide receivers and a Baker and company and Polk and see if they can be these guys that can absolutely move down the field in the pass game. Dre's going to struggle massively to find open spaces. Only way he saves his days is likely going to be in the touchdown upside and the PPR upside. A lot of risk for me this year for Ramondre. Unlikely passing unless he drops a little bit further down in my fantasy drafts. Number 24, Najee Harris. 1,000 yards last year, quiet 1,000 yards with 8 TDs. I foresee a big uptick. I think he's going to absolutely beat his value, but he dropped some pounds, looks a little bit more nimbler, and if Justin Fields is the quarterback, I do like the upside that's potentially coming for Najee Harris as well. I'm not rushing to the, draft room to go and draft Najee's services, but you could do a lot worse, and I think there is better upside this year than it was last year. Hopefully they continue to utilize him in the pass game like they did in his rookie season. 60 catches would absolutely get him up the board as well. Najee on a bounce back, I do foresee it. 47% on that boom rate, definitely needs to go into that 60% range. Number 25, Zamir Zeus White. I love me some UGA running backs. Y'all know this, and Zeus is one of my dudes as well. I'm just not as bullish. I need to see it with higher levels of consistency before we trust it. Yes, he did look good the last 4 games of the season last year. Yes, it'll likely bleed and spill over into this season. He's likely going to be the number 1 running back with an Alexander Madison playing second fiddle, but I got to see it, man. 23% on the boom rate. Yes, okay. Stat line aside, look at the last 5 games. He was promotive of being more heavily utilized and having better upside. 25 is absolutely fair to me. I won't overdraft guys like Zamir until they prove it on the field. Number 26, Brian Robinson. Washington Commanders, the Commies, and I got Eckler at number 28. I'll just say it right there. It's a mix and match situation. Definitely going to be a split backfield. You don't bring in a guy like Austin Eckler to have him sit on the bench where Brian Robinson's just going to be the lead guy. They're going to mix and match this, pass attack, run attack. Austin Eckler is going to have his touches. There is no question. So capping the top end upside for a Brian Robinson is why I got him at 26, and then hoping that Austin Eckler does, get back to shades of his former self in LA, from LA, now in Washington. Either one, if you miss on Robinson, you get an Eckler. You miss an Eckler, you get a Robinson. I think they're going to have very similar stat lines either way, so I don't think you can go definitely wrong with ranking them 2 spots ahead of each other or behind each other. 27, Tony Pollard slotting in between a Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. With these Tennessee Titans, I mean, what can we really say? How is this offense going to move? Pollard is a good running back. Can we trust it? I mean, outside of being in the pass game, and then they got a guy like Tyjae Spears as well to be similar likeness. It's just too hard to trust for me. Tony Pollard at 27, I'm likely fading unless he goes further down the board, but it's likely others are going to jump on his bandwagon. I'm not necessarily in, but 27 for me is fair and decent based on the fact of his skill set and what these Titans are trying to do this season. 29, Javonte Williams. Vontae, he would rise up my board in a second, in a heartbeat, if he went to a team like the Dallas Cowboys. Hearing lots of rumor, Vontae may get cut because, the coaching staff in Denver like an Audric Estime that much more. Could it have been just all rumor to motivate Vontae? Maybe. In Denver, I just don't foresee anything heavy this year. There's just not enough unless Bo Nix absolutely, drills it down the field with high levels of regularity. Vontae anywhere from 29 to, you want to say 24, fine. We can make that argument, but I'm absolutely out on this until further notice. I want to see it a little bit better. I've always been a fan. Tearing that ACL just wasn't great. Came back, looked okay last year. You want to see a lot better performances. Just don't like it at this point. Vontae at 29, and I would like to see him drop down my draft board before I pick him. 30, we got Jaylen Warren only because he tweaked that hammy. He would have been up the board just a little bit more, probably right behind somebody like a Najee Harris at 24. Pulling the hammy, like I said, with Gibby. Soft tissue injuries this late do linger. They can have, recurrence of going back to the medical room. Don't like it whatsoever. Warren is a very good running back. It's going to be a tandem approach in Pittsburgh anyway, so even if you do get a Jaylen Warren, he will have his contest if healthy, and I mean, you could probably lift him back up to number 25 above a Zamir White, or just below a Zamir White, I want to say, and I'd be okay with that as well, but I want to see the health ticket moving up before I pick him, hence why he's dropped down to number 30 for me. Number 31, Jerome Ford. He's going to have his days probably from week 1 to week 7 till Nick Chubb does come back and gets back to full strength. Hearing rumor, it's going to take time. You start on the pup. We will not see Nick Chubb, I don't think, for at least a little while. Could be week 6-ish if it's early. They're going to still utilize a Jerome Ford. So when you're drafting somebody like Jerome Ford at 31 overall running back, I think it's fair value because you will get him for the beginning part of the season, can utilize him, and if Nick Chubb does come back to decent health, they will ride Chubb back once again, so you will lose a lot of touches. So the Ford mantra this year, weeks 1 to 5 or 6, is likely the biggest value you're going to get from him, so that's why I got him sitting at number 31. Number 32, Devin Singletary, motor. Someone's got to run the football in New York, and it's likely going to be Singletary and Eric Gray, so definitely watch out for that. I'm not a big fan right now of the Giants and how this offense is moving. Yes, I do like Brian Dable. Yes, I do like the offense. Not a fan of Danny Pennies. Love me some Malik Neighbors. I mean, they got others too with that rookie tight end Theo Johnson. He looks very good. But Devin Singletary, he's going to get you what he gets you, man. 800 yards, 5 TDs. He'll get you some work in the pass game, maybe match a flex play. That's why I got him at 32. Likewise with a Tyjae Spears. He's got speed, wheels, elusive ability for days. 33 is okay. I just think we gotta understand how this backfield's going to be operating with a Tony Pollard, with a Tyjae Spears. How's it going to look with a Will Levis? These guys are going to be interchangeable, I want to believe, so it's going to be very hard to trust. One of the toughest backfields to trust this season might be the Tennessee Titans. I got Tyjae at 33. 34, 35, Los Angeles Chargers. We got J.K. Dobbins and Gus the Bus Edwards. JK said he's healthy. I believe him. He says he's ready to go. I believe him. And this is going to be the last year I do that. So based on the value to return on investment, you could get an absolute stellar volume upside running back with good appeal here at 34 with J.K. Dobbins. And then likewise with the touchdown ability of a Gus Edwards once again, coming off 13 TDs last year, 800 yards, Gus the Bus. We should see that pulled back where JK, if health does stay on his side, he could absolutely crack that 1,000-yard rushing upside with a Justin Herbert filling in that Austin Eckler role. I'm absolutely in on the value of JK Dobbins, and I have been all off season. Will not fade it, but you got to rank him at 34 because I'd be crazy to put him up based on his injury history. 36, Chuba Hubbard. This backfield again here in Carolina, I mean, okay, you got to say Chuba's likely going to have the lion's share until Brooks, the rookie, comes back from his injury as well. Miles Sanders lost complete favor, so it's one of those things. It's going to be a nightmare to decide. So, I mean, pick your poison with Chuba. I'm not necessarily in this season. 37, Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals. Him and Zach Moss likely forming the 1-2 punch in this backfield. They lost, his name fades me, Evans. They lost him to a season-ending injury as well. So Chase Brown and Zach Moss likely the 1-2 punch. I'm more of a bigger fan of a Chase Brown, what he can do on the field, than I am of a Zach Moss. So definitely that's why I got him here at number 37. Blake Corum, 38. Trey Benson, 39. Rookie love, and I'm going to give him some love because Corum, like I said, likely here to at least split some carries with a Kyron Williams, ease some pressure, ease some injuries. Blake Corum is a very good quality running back, and they will do very interesting things in Sean McVay's system. Blake Corum, absolutely stellar at number 38. Likewise with a Trey Benson, probably the best handcuff situation in the NFL in fantasy football for Trey Benson, taking over for James Conner if he does go down into the medical room. I do love me some Trey Benson, getting him this late in drafts and likely down later in most ADP circles without question. And finishing it off with Nick Chubb, feeling chubby. Okay, I mean, 40, you're taking a big gamble, big risk. You probably won't be able to use them until like week 8. My advice, likely keep him on the waiver wire until further notice, but somebody will draft him. So, I mean, if you have room and you want to wait and see and potentially have a running back one with volume, Nick Chubb at 40 is definitely why I got him here. I can't leave him out because that's crazy, because when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. But there you have it. That is top 40 running backs. And we're going to be pushing these ranks all week to get you all prepared for your fantasy drafts. It is good stuff, but nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. I am out.